Hi, happy homeschoolers. Oh, I love it. Hello, my name is Dr. Dawn Kafima, and I am so excited to spend some time with you today, sharing our happiness in homeschooling and building more happiness in homeschooling. Oh, I want to make sure that you know I'll never share with you about legal matters, right? Every state, every province, every country, every nation, every territory has different laws about homeschooling. So please absolutely know what those laws are. What is your age that you have to report and to whom do you report? And there are some great homeschool associations that you can join, and they will give you all kinds of factual information. Even the social media groups, there are some that are really legit, and then there's some that are, I don't know. So please make sure you have the correct information for where you live, your actual permanent domicile residence address. That is so important because we don't want to do all this and then get in trouble. So think about law and order. We want to make sure that we write letters to the right people and we sign the right forms and we do the right thing. And I do absolutely encourage you to get involved with the homeschooling associations that meet your family's needs so that you have backup and the latest information, is there for you. That's so important. And there's too much of it. I won't be addressing it. So I'm just going to tell you that caveat and ask you to please make sure that you're up to date always and that you stay up to date because things change, laws change, right? For example, the state of Ohio had a huge transformation in homeschooling, right? Now all you have to do is declare and that's it. I mean, you have a notice of intent, I guess it is, and that goes to your superintendent of a district. And I don't know all the details, but for example, that's a state I know of that has changed dramatically. And the laws that you had 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, really different now. So you'll have to keep abreast of the laws in your permanent residence area. And I know for a lot of people who are doing road schooling or who are doing everything virtually, it's the permanent address that we usually use to talk about your homeschooling legalities. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Ask, join these groups that protect one another. And if you need to talk to a lawyer, if you need to talk to someone who can help you with this journey and the legal side, please do that. We also want to make sure that you constantly meet the state or province or national or federal requirements that you have. Sometimes people get enthusiastic about teaching what they like, and that's beautiful. But they forget that there are requirements by law as well in many states. You have to agree to teach certain topics and certain subjects and certain themes. And so I don't ever want you to fall behind, right? You can select the courses you want to teach and the curriculum and the way you want to teach them, but make sure, please, that you meet every standard for your area. And in fact, I always encourage people to exceed the standard, right? Do more so that if anyone ever calls you on it or asks you about it, you can honestly say that you have met that standard and then some. And I think that especially about days, we homeschool all year round because it's fun and it gives routine to our day and it's requested. Like when I say, oh, we can take a day off because it's a holiday, people want to do school. I'm ready to learn. So we do. And so I really encourage you because some places require a certain number of hours or a certain number of days, and it's always good to have extra. And you never know when something will happen or change your schedule. And so it's helpful then to have extra days, right? The power goes out, you can't use your virtual classes to meet your needs. It's good to have a backup. Right? Do you have some curriculum at your home? Do you have some printable material that you've printed out maybe or books you've ordered? Something that you can keep going and meet the number of days for your particular residence, even if there's a change, right? We have a friend who does online school and her power was out because of Hurricane Helene. And she said, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And so I had to quickly get some things together for her so that they could keep schooling and not miss days and fall behind. because of the requirements. So I won't specifically try to tell you millions and millions of places and what they require, because sometimes county to county, province to province, it's different on a reservation. It's different, in a territory. So I just want to make sure that we let you know that there are laws and we want you to observe them. Some places have different laws based on custody, or another parent, a non-custodial parent has to agree for homeschooling. So please, I mean, oh, absolutely. Please, I beg of you, find out the laws, find out the orders in your area of residence and follow them. The creativity should come in the curriculum. The creativity should come in the lessons, but not in following the rules. Follow them exactly. Well, I meant, well, everybody knows. Well, I just thought, mm-mm. Please meet the standards and the expectations that are legal. If you're supposed to write a letter, if you're supposed to fill out a form, if you're supposed to do something a certain way, please do it. And this is the part where I clap a lot really loudly for those of us who have chosen to join platforms that provide lessons and classes and curriculum for us. I'm a big believer in that. I love that. Start with a certified teacher teaching you a lesson on a live video class. Start with printables that they give you. Start with on demand lessons that's provided. In a multitude of counselors, there is safety. And sometimes when you have people who know things and are wise and knowledgeable, it's great to take advantage of that, to avail yourself of that, and to know that that helps to keep you safe, legally speaking. I'm thinking about umbrella schools too. I know there's a lot of controversy about that, but I'm a big fan. I really am. I do like umbrella schools, and those are schools, many have been in existence for years, many are religious, that basically help you with the record keeping and give you an umbrella, literally, so that when the state says, "Oh, are you homeschooling?" you can point to that school and say, "Okay, I'm part of that school. Yes, I'm teaching my children, I'm home educating and all of that, but I also have a an umbrella," right? I mean, if there was a big storm in the news and they said, "There's gonna be a big storm in the news," you'd take your umbrella. I mean, I hope you'd stay home, but if you can't, you'd take an umbrella and you'd be willing to use it to protect yourself from the rain. And so there's a lot to be said for the peace of mind that comes, especially for first-time homeschoolers or people whose background is not academic. Maybe if you don't have a lot of uh, formal education, because everybody has a lot of education if you've been alive, but formal education and degrees, a lot of times people feel more confident when they use a platform, an umbrella school, a portal of on demand classes or live classes that have teachers, especially when you get to subjects that you may not be very great at. I mean, I'm going to have to absolutely rely upon expertise of other people for physics because I never took it. I was told it would destroy my point hour, so I did not go to physics class. And so I'm going to be depending then on, help. So as we talk about the legal areas, I want you to take a few minutes and do your research. I mean, too much research. Join some of the reputable and well vetted groups of homeschooling. You can find them on social media or you can find them membership organizations. I feel like we all have to have at least one talk with experts. What is in your area? What are the expectations? I am so blessed because we had India Keith of the Homeschool Moms Network on my podcast not too long ago. And she really knows her laws. She really knows her assessments. I mean, she is an expert, and that organization is one that helps other homeschooling moms to know exactly what to do in their area and how to do it. And I'm thinking about, I mean, I don't want to give recommendations because I don't want to limit you. You need to find the organization that's best for you. But I'm thinking about how many times it helps to have someone answer a question accurately. Your local library, a lot of times, is a great resource for legals and other homeschool questions. They have a lot of information, a lot of times about the state laws or provincial laws where you are. I want you to follow the laws. Yeah. We're not renegades here. We're not, you know, we're not. We are people who want our children to have the very best educational experience. And for us, we believe that's homeschooling. And if that's true and we really believe that, then it should be able to stand up to scrutiny, right? I believe that homeschooling is the best way for my children, and so I'm homeschooling them. And I don't mind filling out the necessary paperwork or letting people know or enrolling them in a platform that provides uh, certified teachers and a high quality education for them. I don't mind that. I think homeschooling, there are purists, for example, who say, like, if you use any forms of resources or online or anything else, right? Umbrella school, then you're not really homeschooling. Well, I'm not going to pick that apart because I know that every family is different. And for some families, that might be what helps them to homeschool. And for some other families, maybe they don't need that or want that. But the point of homeschooling is liberty. It's freedom that we're allowed to live and move and have our being in ways that are a blessing to us and to our families, whatever that means. But I also don't want you to be surprised. I don't want truancy officers to show up at your door and say, "Why didn't you fill out the paperwork saying that your child is not going to go to public school?" And I think when people start homeschooling in preschool, they forget, because there's no natural progression, that you do have to alert someone. You have to fill out the paperwork or the forms or the letter, whatever it is your district requires. You have to let them know that your child's not just truant, they are being educated, home educated. And a lot of times it's a very simple process, but people just don't know they need to do it. So please, that's your assignment right now for this particular happy homeschoolers. I want you to take some time and make sure that you're completely compliant. If you're taking your children out of school, what do you need to do in order to homeschool them? If you're just homeschooling all the way, like we did, like we are, we started with preschool and here we go, right? And so what I want for you is to law and order. Yeah, law and order. I want you to follow the rules, the directions, the legalities so that your child's education is valid. It doesn't do any good to do all this work and all this time and all this effort and all this love and then find out your child can't go to college because they don't have enough hours for you to issue a home diploma. Or find out that they've done so many things and they forgot or didn't do certain subjects that are required by law, right? If you're the best homeschooler in the world and your child doesn't meet standards, okay, what's it all for? Right? I mean, we want them to have empowering education. We want them to have an education that allows them to have the life that they desire. Sometimes when people ask me what's my goal for homeschooling, I think they think, oh, scores and honors and all those things. What I mean is the desires of their heart. Anything they want to do, I don't want their education to be the reason they can't do it. I want them to be able to do it and do it well and do it wisely. So take some time and find out the rules. I know this is the part nobody likes and it's not a lot of fun, but it's super important. Remember the foundation of your house? If you get the foundation wrong, it's all wrong. So please take some time, make sure that you're compliant. If you need to fill out forms or paperwork, if there's someone you need to talk to, you need to call an attorney, you do it. You do it. But you do everything you have to do to make sure that your children are legally homeschooled, that whatever you're teaching them meets with the criteria and the requirements, that they'll be able to get diplomas and graduate and do the things they dream of doing. We don't want to hurt our children by homeschooling. We want to help them. And following the laws and regulations and standards of our areas is a great way to do that.